Hello, everyone. This is Steve Newell with Cloud Consult, and we are just about to get ready with our presentation today. It's right at 2 o'clock, and we're gonna just give a minute for some other people to join, and then we'll get going. All right, it's just after the hour, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. Today we're joined by Nextiva, Tom Harold, who is the Strategic Solutions and Alliances professional, and JJ Erasmus, who is a Senior Solution Consultant Level 3 with Nextiva. We're so happy to have both of them together with us today. And we're going to be talking today about the Nextiva Omnichannel Pioneer Package for TAS. And I know I kept referring to it as the starter package, but I think Pioneer is a little bit better, more descriptive name for what we're presenting today, because it basically allows the pioneers in the telefinancing service industry who are interested in adding to voice channels all the other channels that could generate revenue and satisfy customer needs. And so let's just take a quick look at what we're going to be looking at today. And so we included in the Nextiva Omni Pioneer package, which Tom Harold is going to be describing in more detail. You're going to have two voice campaigns that are built for you, an inbound voice campaign, which we're all used to, and also an inbound IVR campaign for an employee check-in line. Nextiva is also building three SMS campaigns, two-way SMS, for you can use them as appointment reminders, marketing campaigns, mass notification. So you'll get that two-way emails, or SMSs rather, and you're also going to get two-way email. And that campaign can come with bots. So we're going to be looking at the Internet of Things. Basically, when machines, one example of that would be machines that send in notifications that there's equipment failure or maintenance required. That information can come in. All the information would be on the subject line, which would be parsed by the bot in the background. And then, of course, we would look to see which provider needed to be dispatched to take care of that maintenance problem. Also, web chat. We have a web chat set up for you, so everybody that gets the Omni Pioneer package will get a web chat campaign already set up. And then, of course, there's a lot of AI components as well, transcription, summarization, and so on. So we'll be talking about some of those features. Now, what's available and included on the Nextiva platform that is not going to be a focus of today, but these are things that when your customers ask for them, you can be ready and say, yes, I have that available. It's on the platform. I just got to turn it on. API integrations into whatever CRM or database you need to integrate with. And of course, that's going to require some professional services to map that. But most of the CRMs that you're going to be looking at are ones that Nextiva has a lot of history with. So it should be pretty straightforward. An auto dialer, if you have the opportunity to do outbound lead follow-up and verification and qualification, that is sitting there waiting for you. Marketing campaigns through the auto dialer. Social media account coverage, very, very strong Nextiva is very, very strong in social media account coverage. So when your clients ask for that feature, you can know that you're ready to go. You just need to set it up. AI voice agents, which are coming in Q1 of 2026 for those high volume, simple accounts, or you can use it as an AI IVR to front end the system and make sure that you're getting your SLAs underneath what they need to be. And of course, AI analytics, voice analytics on all calls, sentiment, report cards, et cetera. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Tom. I'm going to stop sharing and hand it over to Tom. And then JJ is going to dive into the system and show us about all these features that are included in the Pioneer package.
Well, I appreciate that, Steve. And I'm really here to just kind of pass the baton over to JJ so he can show you all of the wonderful stuff that Steve just talked about. I look forward to after the demonstration, answering questions, sharing a little bit more about the Pioneer package, how you can engage, and what our processes are. So, with that, JJ.
Hi all, I'm JJ Erasmus. I'm based out of Minnesota, so Central Time Zone. But yeah, I'm very excited to showcase a couple of these feature functionalities. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. So please let me know, and from Tom and or Steve's side, if you guys are able to see my screen correctly and fairly legibly.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So for the first use case, or the first example that I'm going to showcase, is an inbound IVA with an employee line. So I'm going to call in and I'm going to pretend to be an employee called Joey Dunlop. And I'm going to tell the system that I'm not feeling well, right? System's going to walk me through a few prompts, gather a little bit of information, and then in the back end, what's going to happen is it's going to send that information off to my employer, right? So that they know exactly what's happening and where I am. Now, we also do have the ability to automatically toggle those switches if there was, for instance, an HR system or a clock in, clock out system that has available APIs. So I'm going to make my quick phone call.
Thank you for contacting Telephone Answering Service. Please enter your 6-digit employee ID number. If your name is Joey Dunlop, press 1. Otherwise, please stay on the line.
So I'm going to press 1 because it identified me as Joey Dunlop.
Can I help you with today?
I'm feeling under the weather.
I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. How long will you be out?
4 days.
Thank you for letting us know you'll be out. A text message has been sent to you with a confirmation number. Thank you for contacting Telephone Answering Service and have a great day.
Okay, so what did we just hear? We heard me as Joey Dunlop call into a number. The first thing that it did is it recognized that I am a person in the database and it wanted to authenticate me. It asked me, hey, what is your employee number before we go any further? I entered my 6-digit employee number and it came back and it says, okay, I see you as Joey Dunlop. If you're Joey Dunlop, press 1. At that point, if I didn't push any buttons, it would have routed me to my agent. As you can see, my agent's been available all this time, and I was able to transact do that whole transaction without bugging any human agents. I said I was feeling under the weather. Now, I could have said I'm not feeling well. I could have said I'm sick. I could have said any type of that thing that alludes to me being unable to work for a certain time. I could have said I was coming late, and would said, how late are you going to be? So it does have contextual AI. Well, as soon as I said that I was going to be out for 4 days, it sent me a text message immediately. And it told me, hey, listen, your confirmation number is this, and thanks for letting us know that you're going to be sick. Similarly to that, in the background, also sent a message to the employer saying that Joey Dunlop's going to be out for 4 days. This is the confirmation number. And again, like I said earlier, we also have the ability to hook into systems, clocking systems, or into your HR systems and automatically toggle that switch. Any questions thus far on anything that you've seen?
You're muted, Steve. I think we're good, JJ.
Yeah, nothing
Okay,
yet.
excellent, excellent. So what I'm going to do next for my next use case, we're going to look at some notifications, right? Notifications is something that we are all very, very familiar with because our cell phones buzz all the time about extended car warranties and anything else, right? But we also find it very useful. It can be very useful for appointment reminders or for reminders to put your trash out, all those type of scenarios, prescription reminders, everything else, right? I mean, all of us use this every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase how easy and quick it is to utilize the Nextiva platform to send out these notifications. Currently, I have 2 campaigns set up. I'm going to open up one, specifically one of these campaigns, and I can do it in a few different ways, right? The first and most rudimental way of doing these notifications and dials, and again, because Nextiva is a true omnichannel contact center, we really don't care if this is an SMS or if it's a phone call. They all are handled the same and they have the same experience, right? So your customers knows exactly what to expect. So what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm just going to go into one of the files that I uploaded. We also have the ability to do this via API so that that it happens in real time. But again, this is a very, very straightforward, easy way to do it. I'm going to click on leads, and it's going to give me an example of a lead. I'm going to reset this lead because I just dialed it now. And then I'm going to start this specific campaign. With that, I'm going to sign into this campaign. So I'm going to go into that and I'm going to sign into that campaign. As you'll see in a minute here, you'll see that this is going to update immediately. It's going to go to that specific campaign and it's going to start picking up those leads. And as soon as it does, I'm going to get a confirmation text message from the system, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. While that's going on, I'm also going to start another campaign message because it's SMS, so it does take a minute or so before it does send those out. And I just received this text message. Like I said, it takes about a minute or so, but it's going to pop in to my screen here. And as you can see, that was the, "Hi, Joey. This is Men's Warehouse. Your order is ready to be picked up." And you can reply with any questions directly from them. Now, very, very straightforward, very easy to set up, right? I can log out of this campaign and I can then activate my second campaign. This could be a promotional campaign, right? And as soon as I log in here and I send to this outbound offer, this is going to also send a message directly to my cell phone, providing me with information on a 30% offer. Now, as soon as I get that message, there's a couple of things that I can also do. I also have the ability to utilize something like a sticky agent, right? So if that message comes out and it comes from, maybe I have a preview and I can see that preview specifically with that agent, then that agent will go in and it'll get all of the messages that is being responded to from the system. So as soon as this message comes in, we'll be ready for that, and
Yeah,
we
and
can talk.
I'm just going to add just want to add a little bit of information. Typically, obviously, you're not going to be doing one-off SMS. You can, but the whole goal of this is to add lists of 50, 100, a couple hundred, 1,000 SMS uh, um, uh, uh, telephone numbers. And so your customer will give you a list. You just load the CSV file and you format the email or the SMS. You can put telephone numbers for them to call back. You can put links in there. We all know that. We all get those reminders and announcements and marketing campaigns all the time. So all that is all configurable. And I know that JJ mentioned that you can use an API. So if your customer is just daily sending you lists, then let's create an API connection, and then the list gets uploaded into your system, and you send it out rather than you manually uploading a CSV, which isn't bad, but I mean, if you wanted to take it to the next step technology-wise, you could do that as well. So just a
Now,
note on that.
yes, definitely. Thank you very much for giving that context, Steve. And as you can see, we did receive that second message, and we can also put links directly into that second message. That'll expose a chat widget for us as well as anything else, right? So now we have the ability to go look at orders, exchanges, customer service, or ability to look at for stock, etc., etc. So we do have that additional layer of taking items and escalating them across all channels, providing the same experience. Okay, so any questions on the mass notification or two-way SMS campaigns? Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to show you an email that I sent out. Now, we have some use cases where when we have Internet of Things each of us in our homes has this in our, fridges, in our ranges, and all this kind of thing, where it's like, well, okay, what do I do if there's an error code? And we also have this for commercial environments like the McDonald's and the Burger Kings, and those fridges also have Internet of Things. So what we've done is we've put together a workflow that'll take an email, and this is again the most rudimental form of communication with these devices is just sending an email, but sending an email and formatting it so that it says what is required, what is the device, the diagnostic code, and who services this device, right? So all of this information is just in the subject line. Now, we could have put the information in here. We could have put the information anywhere in the email for us to know exactly what's going on within that platform. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make myself ready so we can see what that looks like. As you can see, that email came in. It came to customer service. And as soon as I accept this email interaction, let me go ready. As soon as I accept this email interaction, I'm going to get some information. This is automatically going to put all of this information in front of my agent. My agent now has the ability to use NextIQ to answer some of the questions that's in this email, or to act accordingly with some of the email responses directly from here. We also have the ability to transfer this email to, let's say, a dispatcher or specifically to the person at Phoenix Commercial Refrigeration. But we can also see all the history of what that fridge or refrigerator did. So we can go take a look, and as we can see, this fridge is becoming just like another contact within our system. So all the context, all of the experiences that this machine has gone and worked with us, we have the ability to see all of this information, and that gives us all that more feature-rich information that we can provide to the people that service that, as far as the warranty is concerned, or as far as overall condition of the device. Now, this is also something that we can do with many other devices. If you think about moving items like trucks or some trains, buses, all that type of thing, we do have the ability to react to them as well as work with them in real time. Yes, Mr. Tom, you have a question.
Yeah, not so much a question, but I appreciate it, JJ. One of the things that is important to understand, all of these assets that JJ's representing in the UI and the UX, that experience for the agent can be tailored. So we're showing a lot of objects, the use of those objects and how they're deployed and displayed to the agent can be defined based on each campaign and interaction.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tom, because there is a lot of information in the data as well as these other items that we can hide. So that is absolutely customizable to your customers' needs. And Steve?
I just wanted to add that there's a couple different ways, like Tom said, to handle each of these campaigns however you want to. If you want to have an agent manually copy and paste this information and do a lookup, but that can all be done by bots as well, which is kind of the goal is to push some of that labor onto automation and begin lowering your costs. The other thing is a lot of times you'll have machines, especially say pipelines, if you have pipeline accounts where not only does a machine contact you when it's has a problem, say, but some of those machines or pipelines or whatever, they're mandated to send out a message every hour, every 2 hours saying, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Well, I've talked to customers who their agents are going blind, staring at an Outlook box with hundreds and hundreds of different points of a pipeline saying, I'm okay, I'm okay. And now they're looking for that one message that says, I'm not okay. So they've got 2 or 3 people just doing that, staring at an Outlook. Well, that's just so inefficient. So in that case, what we would do, anything that says, I'm okay, well, the automatic action for the bot is to archive that. And it clears 99% of those emails, and it just it just presents the ones that do need attention, and the agent may never see them as well because again they could be automatically dispatched. But in those cases, this is an especially efficient way to handle those campaigns.
Thank you for adding that, Steve. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to disposition. I'm going to terminate this email. So I had the ability to do that, and I'm just going to go ahead and just take a look and see what we just saw. What we just saw is we saw a Internet of Things device. This could be any type of device, right? That somehow had a fault and needed to be looked after. It automatically sent an email, and that email was picked up by the Nextiva platform and presented with all of the relevant information to someone to act upon. Now, again, just like the previous interaction for the employee notification. We don't need someone to sit in there, but for me to showcase what it looks like, I'm sitting in the middle. We do have the ability to automatically toggle or trigger your workflows in the back of your systems, right? If there's an API available, and then trigger that workflow and start with that workflow, right? So starting to get your dispatches ready, starting to get the work order ready, making sure that we have someone that knows what the right address is to go take a look. Even making an automated outbound call to that customer to schedule an appointment to go and work on that fridge for them. Okay. Any questions on that thus far? And I'm gonna rely on you, Steve and Tom, to look at the audience because I can't see. Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna go into the later of the three scenarios. I have in front of me a system that is set up for a telephone answering service. Now, in this scenario, I'm going to pretend to be looking for an apartment. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a phone call, right? We're going to start very plain and simple with voice. I'm going to say, I'm driving around and I see this apartment that I'm very interested in.
Hi, thanks for contacting Premier Property Management. If you are calling in about a new lease, press 1. If you are calling in about a service request, press 2. Otherwise, please.
So I'm going to call in about a new lease.
Thank you. A text message has been sent to you with a link to more information. Thank you and have a great day.
Okay. Well, so what happened there was as soon as I called in and I said that I am interested in a new lease, what it did is it sent me instantaneously an email, a text message. And once I clicked on that text message, now it opens up a chat widget. Now, there's a couple of reasons that we do it this way. We do have the ability to go and say, oh, okay, let me just grab your information and I'll get back to you if you're looking at a new lease, right? But that doesn't give us much context. Now, if we go through and send this text message, we could go back and forth as well and saying, how many bedrooms are you looking at? This are you looking at? Are you looking at that? Which area? Things like that. But that can also be cumbersome when we're relying on going for addresses and things like that. And you want to make sure that all the information that you send between the two systems is absolutely encrypted end to end. Now, with text messages, excluding things like RCS and iMessage, it's all plain text. And we want to make sure that we keep your customers also protected. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I want to sign a new lease. I'm going to pretend to be Joey Dunlop again, and I'm going to chat now. Now, as soon as I do this, we're going to hear that same prompt. Thanks for calling Premier Property Management. At this point, the system knows that I am already interested in a lease. Right? So I'm not getting that second prompt of, hey, how can I help you today? Or are you interested in that? Now, we do also have these pre-selected cards. So I'm going to say, I'm going to respond to some of these questions, and there's going to be a little bit of back and forth to find out exactly what I need. And I'm going to say I need some of these items. And so these could be all very relevant questions. And if you see what I mean, this makes a lot more sense to do this over text, right? And to do it securely over text. So let's say, yes, I want some more information. And I'm going to say, lakefront, if possible. Okay. Now, what's going to happen right now is Someone is going to get all of that information, and similarly to the employee line, all of this is going to be sent off to that property management company, right? Property management company now has the ability to take all that information, and we can trigger their workflow, saying to reach out to the customer, to call the customer, to SMS the customer. We could have also made part of that do you give consent to get SMSs, and then transfer that channel into SMS for creating that appointment. We also have the ability to put things in there like a calendar where they can automatically push a button and schedule that specific walkthrough for that apartment. Okay, so what do we just see? We just saw someone that wanted to rent an apartment that they saw, and they went through the exercise of providing all of the information without bugging an agent. The agent is still available on this end, no interactions happened, and the agent is busy working on what's most important to them, and that's taking calls with people. We took all that information is sent off to the back-end workflow, and that triggered off that workflow so that we can take calls, we can make calls, we can put them in the system and get that scheduled. Okay, and we saw all that without the use of an agent. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like if we needed to use that agent. And I'm going to show you that the experience looks and feels exactly the same way. So I'm going to put my information in here so that it knows who I am. And I'm going to say, now that I have secured my new lease, I'm going to do a service request because my HVAC system may not be working. I'm going to go here quick and just do a service request service, and I'm going to put my information in again, and it's going to connect me to that chatbot. Now, first thing that it's going to do is ask me which address I'm talking about. So I'm going to say 10310 Lee Drive. And the system is going to look that up and provide me with which options I have, right? I've got appliances, I've got plumbing, or which contracts or what my contracts might cover, right? So this could also be a utility company that, provides external services for specific appliances. So I'm going to say HVAC issues. And do I want to provide any additional information? Let's say yes, and say it's not cooling down. Now, similarly to what we saw earlier, this is going to tell me, okay, we're going to get someone to handle this for you. You have a great day, and we are going to get all of that information and also trigger, similarly to what we saw earlier, we're going to trigger that back end flow that follows your workflows and or your customers' workflows, right? But now what if I just want to speak to someone? So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, I want to speak to someone about something else, right? Instantly, it knows that those weren't the options. Now, we do have the ability to put plenty more options in there, but as soon as I accept this, we're going to see a couple of things. I'm going to see all the contact information right here. And this might be a little difficult to see, so I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I hope that looks better. But we're going to see all of the contact information here. Now, this contact information is part of what we call a user survey. I personally am not a fan of the name. It doesn't make much sense to me. To me, it's more of a landing page, right? Where you can take information from multiple systems and marry it right here in front of your agent. Now, what that means to you is that this name could have come from the form. This email could have come from an HR system, or it could have come from a property management system. The phone number could have come from a different area. So, with APIs and mapping all of these fields, we have the ability to pull information from multiple systems and marrying them all on the same screen so that only the relevant information is displayed to your customers or your agents, right? So think about a Salesforce where you have a gazillion different fields. Only the ones relevant to that case I can pull out and I can put right in front of your agent. Now, in this case, this is a lease and a service request case, so or use case. So I can go ahead and I can choose all of the information that I need to with additional information for the new lease. Or if it was a service address, I can say this is 123 Main Street. I can look that up, or I can say what is the problem type and submit it. I can also go ahead and schedule a viewing of that. And in this specific scenario, we just put a Calendly in there just to make sure that we can showcase that we also have that functionality. But now we can take it a step further, and instead of just showcasing an iframe, we can have it hook into Calendly's API and come back with multiple different options for that specific service or that specific walkthrough to the apartment. Now, another thing that we also do with our web chat is we provide context and the history. We provide that all from the beginning. So even the bot, all of the information that the bot had with us, all of the information that happened before your agent. So I like to call this not necessarily cradle, because we don't necessarily know exactly what happened, but call it from tummy time. From tummy time and ahead, right? Is when we can showcase all of that information, see what the interactions were between that person and that bot, and we can help accordingly. So I can say over here, I'm having issues with my AC, right? Now, we also have what's called NextIQ. And NextIQ allows us to click on this button here and come up with some answers. Now, in this case, if I typed in, do you price match? And I can do that one specifically. I can say, click the button, and it's going to come back with some answers on this specifically. And we can then point this to your knowledge bases, and we can specify what it can do as far as answers are concerned, or what it's allowed or not allowed. And we can also specify that per customer, right? So you might have 6 or 7 different customers that is utilizing your service, and each of those customers can have their own database, they can have their own integrations, they can have pulling from 3 different systems by phone call. Okay. Again, we can see the contact information, like Tom said. This is a lot of information here. Some of the information is not as pretty like this one. And so I do this to showcase so that I can show my demo is doing what it's doing in the background. But this is certainly something that we can remove for your agents. And I see that I have a question from Mr. Steve.
Yes, I just wanted to see if you could show them the language capabilities, the translation capabilities.
Yes, and I'm really glad you asked that, because that was exactly where I was going next. So what we also offer as part of this is automatic language translation. Now, currently, with a caveat, currently we do that only on digital work items. Now, digital work items are WhatsApps, SMSs, emails, chats, anything digitally today. We can do automatic language translation. We do run on Google, so we use GCP as our infrastructure. So all of the languages that Google Translate supports, which is, I think it's over 240 languages, and it's probably six more since we started this conversation. But because they are rapidly increasing all of that, I didn't honestly even know that there are that many languages. But all of those, so I can switch and flip-flop these languages into, for say, Afrikaans. And I can ask it that to move my meeting immediately. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll see my agent just saw it in English or in their language of choice. So I was able to speak to my agent in Afrikaans. My agent received that message in English. Now, if I go, what time would you like to meet instead of Wednesday? It is going to automatically know that for the session, I'm speaking Afrikaans. Now, one thing that sets us apart as well from some of our competitors is I can now flip-flop this into Spanish as well, or into any other language, or I can continue in Afrikaans. Because I know that for a fact, well, I know that in my household, we speak a few different languages, right? But if you think about that older, newer generation, where someone might be starting a chat for grandma or anything like that, and handing the phone to her, whereas she needs to complete that, then it's very, very helpful to do that. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about language translation, and Tom, I can see that you have a question. I'll get to you in 1 second, is we do have voice language translation on our roadmap. It has been confirmed. I do not have a date for it yet, but it has been confirmed, and our teams are actively working on that. And from what I know, that including the language services that we provide currently, will also be part of the Pioneer package. And then, Tom, you had some input?
Yeah, I appreciate it, JJ. One of the things I wanted to kind of point out is I think you've started to see a progression of these use cases where we started with just voice only and built across to this last use case where we're going across multiple media types, from jumping from voice to SMS to web chat back to voice. We have the ability to move across all of those media types in real time without losing any context, without losing any data, and continuing to manage that experience. So, and as JJ just mentioned, as we move from just a digital world of translation, and we get to a place to where we're starting to do voice automation. An early part of next year, we will GA a voice agent bot that will allow you to do very simplistic processes. We've been doing all of this ML and AI, and the platform has been built from the very ground up with this all in mind. It's just that we're very pragmatic about how and when we do it. And I think that the important part, JJ, that you showed earlier is that it didn't understand contextually the request that you asked it for until you said, okay, I want to change my date, right? And it's that concept of putting guardrails around the AI that allows you to marry the human and the AI for the most efficient use and process. So JJ, I appreciate you letting me jump in and but I wanted to kind of wrap that all into, the whole process that we're going through.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate that, Tom. Um, and so what I wanted to do from this point onwards is I want to talk a little bit more about what happens, right, when we do this. So now I have now at this point terminated that interaction. You could see on the left-hand side that it popped off and on the right-hand side. So now what we have is we have this all-important summary. This summary can do a lot of different things for your customers, right? We have the ability to instantly. Oh, Steve, do you have a quick question?
Just questions about pricing for the platform and so on and so forth. So I know we're going to get to that, but
Oh,
yeah.
yes, I'm going to make this real quick. So, what we have here is that conversation summary. It's going to tell us what it knows about the interaction that just happened. Now, I don't want you to look at this and think like this is something static. This is something that we can go in and we can modify this for every single call, have a different set of rules. We can do quality analysis, quality management in here. We can rate scorecards in here. We also have the ability to trigger other events, right? I can see in this example, I just wanted to know a headline, the sentiment, and some of the key points, what they wanted to do. And when I disposition this, I have the ability to automatically push that again into a third party system. So if my CRM had notes in it, I can push that into my CRM and that I can trigger that workflow as well. So with that, I want to hand it back to Steve and Tom so that we can talk a little bit about pricing and wrap that up. And I hope that you guys were able to follow along fairly well and that you can see the value of what we've put together here with Cloud Consult and the Pioneer package.
Thanks, JJ.
Yeah, JJ, that was awesome. Thank you very much. Steve, just to kind of circle back, I don't have the one page for the landscape model, so it just won't really show very well. But what I'd like to be able to talk about when we talked about the Pioneer package that has been developed. First of all, thanks to Steve for all of the intelligence and experience and knowledge that he's brought with him to Nextiva. We're real proud and happy to partner with Cloud Consult for this package. The Pioneer package is only available through Cloud Consult and those partners. And the really neat thing about it is we've taken all of those use cases that JJ just demonstrated, put them into a container, and our ability to rapidly deploy that in standard. So you get, like what Steve talked about, we get a couple voice programs, we get a couple 2, 3 SMS programs, we get, all of those pieces and parts that we just demonstrated come out of the box. And they come out of the box in a way that we deploy and teach you how to leverage the platform so that you can copy that and replicate it and then tailor it for your customer. So the intention overall is to develop a platform that is robust, comprehensive, complex, but simplified in deployment so that we can get you up and operational to a revenue position within 60 days. And I know that that sounds kind of crazy, but based on the way that the platform is developed, written, managed, and deployed, we have an opportunity to do that. And then the very next thing is that platform is, I talked about it being robust. JJ talked about we're deployed on GCP. We have what we believe is the highest available platform that you'll find anywhere in this industry. We are triplicate in every aspect of the product, but we're geographically redundant failover and a global platform. So I know that in this industry, most of your business is probably tailored for that local business, which is terrific. But the ability to bypass and provide service when they're unable is what we want to make sure that you have the capability to do. So we do that, like I said, deploy all of this package within 60 days, get you operational. We simplified the deployment and the implementation. It's for less than $10,000. You've got the 5 agents, the consumption, the carriage, the deployment, and then hours of a technical account manager that will put hands on keyboards, help you define your business, and help you learn that process. During that implementation time period, we go through advanced workshops. So we're teaching you how to deploy the platform, how to configure the platform, the best practices in copying and tailoring so that you can get your customers active and onboarded in a short period of time. So we feel that with Cloud Consult and this package, we've really got a position, an enablement for your industry with the omni-channel capabilities that are very challenging in the current and architectural history of the platforms. So, Steve, I know we're probably like 9 minutes, it looks like. Any questions? Did we stimulate thought processes, ideas, anything that we can help with?
Well, I know that there's a lot of questions about pricing, so maybe afterwards we can send everybody, I have everybody's information. We can basically put together a pricing package. It's pretty straightforward. It's 5 agents, and again, 2 inbound voice. One of those is the IVR, the employee check-in line. One is a live, one. 3 SMS campaigns, one two-way email campaign, and a web chat campaign. Now, obviously, when you do a lookup to see, what employee this is, well, you're going to have to give us the database or tell us where that database is so we can connect to it. If you have a CRM you want to connect with, we need that information. So there's going to be fine tuning on your side to tell us, okay, what databases, what CRMs exactly, how do you want to create this? But the foundation is there. And so the implementation cost goes into fine tuning it for you and teaching you how to use the system so that you can start web chat with this client, this client, this client, but then you're on your own. I mean, you can create them because we've taught you how to create them. So you can, put them in 50 of your clients if you want. You can make 50 of these inbound IVRs if you want. So we basically give you the tools, and the goal is for, as we have been doing in our DNA, is to build all the scripting on our own, learn how to do the scripting and do it on our own. And only when there's like some complex integration or some things that we really need help with, go back and get some professional services help or some hands on the keyboard. But we can get that pricing out to you next week. I know, we're 10 minutes away from Thanksgiving, but we can, it's a pretty standard pricing. We'll get it out to you. And that will include the implementation and then what the monthly costs will be. And then there's just usage. Like for some of these things, like the IVR and the SMS campaigns and so on and so forth, there's no cost for the actual functionality. It's just usage. Once we build it for you and fine tune it for you, it's just usage. If you don't use it, you're not paying for it. If you do use it, it's just usage, SMS costs, telephone costs, etc. And see, what other questions do we have here?
Steve, when people start asking questions about pricing, it's, we've kind of simplified it and said, hey, you can do all of this for less than 10 grand to start. But a lot of our competition will piecemeal you, right? And they're like, oh, you want to have an AI assessment, or you want to do quality assurance off after that call. So I'm going to add the quality assurance package, and I'm going to add this, and you just start getting check, 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 check. And next thing you know, you've got this large per month cost. With our AI, we do have a cost on a meter for transcription and summarization. But once you've transcribed and summarized that call, then we can start doing 100% QM, right? We look at 100% of the calls. We run another AI process against that. That additional AI process is not another checkbox, right? It's embedded inside the cost of your license and enabled through that initial transcription. So as you can start to think about how you leverage that capability and pull value out of it, it continues to exist. We're not just going to keep, oh, you're going to touch it one more time. I'm going to touch your wallet one more time. So our intention is to try and make sure that we provide continuous value and growth.
Right. And I'm going to bring this slide up again one more time because I think it's so important. Um, so what? So think of it this way. We're all heading into 2026. We all want to increase our revenue, lower our costs. We want to expand the services that we have so that we're more and more stable, more and more competitive. We want to be in a position where when people ask us for a service, we can provide it, and we know we can provide it. It's not like let me check on that. You know it's there. Even if you're not doing it today, you know that it's part of your platform and you just a phone call away. Hey, I need help setting this up. I got a customer. You want to jump on a call with me? And so again, the two voice campaigns, the SMS campaigns, email campaign, the web chat campaign, all the AI, that comes with the Pioneer package. And then everything else, API integrations, auto dialers, social media account coverage, AI voice agents that are very close, and AI analytics, like Tom was talking about, that's available. It's available today, whether you use it or not. When you need it, it's going to be there. It will be there. It is there. And so this is a way to, I'm just so convinced that we want to put ourselves in a position to be future proofed where we're not behind the curve. This is the very, very latest stuff out there. You're going to be right at the curve. You're going to be at the forefront of all the technology. And as your customers and your prospects are asking questions about, can you do this? Can you do that? Then you'll begin to see, wow, I've got a platform now where I can answer all those questions confidently. I can get them up and running in a couple of weeks, and my competition can't. And it makes you stickier also because it's much harder to leave when you're not only taking their phone calls, but you're monitoring their social media accounts and your web chat is on their website. So it just makes you a much more formidable answering service when you're able to offer much beyond the voice calls, which are always going to be the bread and butter, but these are going to just advance your business exponentially in 2026. So just want to find out if I'm going to stop sharing and find out if there are any more questions while we have just another minute or two. I don't have any more questions here, but I will. I'll get this recording out. I'm going to wait until next week when everything fires. When everybody gets back to the office and is over the Thanksgiving weekend. I know it's going to be very busy for all of you, and so I'm going to wait until next week to send a recording, and we'll go ahead and we'll put pricing together for each and every one of you and send it out. And you can see and this is going to be we're going to put minutes in there for you. We're going to figure out the taxes for you. I mean, this isn't going to be like, oh, this is the number. Oh, but this is the real number. No, this is going to be the real number. So, Tom, thank you so much for all your work to put this together. I know Tom had to work with a lot of people inside Nextiva to get their their buy-in and to build it. And so I'm very grateful for all the work you've done, Tom. And JJ, thank you so much. It was a great demo, very clear, very powerful. And I know you could have gone on and on because there's so much, but I do appreciate all your hard work in getting that together for us. So, and again, all of you have my email. If you wanted to talk more, definitely hit my calendar and set up a time, and we'll continue the conversation. But thank you everyone so much for joining, and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the weekend. I hope it's a very wonderful and very profitable for you this week. But thanks again, everyone, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks all.